we've been at the top of our game for almost 3 decades now. We're going to enter a 30th year of discovery in India. So it's a very important and exciting period for discovery, the brand discovery itself in the country. It's a very exciting time for Warner Brothers Discovery. I mean, we've been at the top of our game for almost 3 decades now. We're going to enter a 30th year of discovery in India. So it's a very important and exciting period for discovery, the brand discovery itself in the country. And of course, we have a very exciting slate that's coming up ahead. But the main thing is our vision is to bring world-class storytelling to India and also elevate the nature of programming that's available to viewers in the market. So when we do the local originals, they sit alongside our global, programs, and then they're of very high quality, whether it's talent, whether it's production, whether it's behind the scenes, whether in terms of research, and we're very proud to announce the slate that we've come up with that goes both on linear as well as our Discovery Plus OTT product, and it is a very robust slate that takes on all the strengths of everything that we've been doing all these years in adventure, survival, history, mythology, crime, as well as reality entertainment. And sort of we hope that the offering sort of satisfies not only our core viewers but also broadens the base of the viewership to people in other categories as well in general entertainment. We hope that the marriage of what we've done with our categories, it sort of has a far and wide reach. And the first one in that respect is actually a very fun reality series, adventure survival reality series we've launched a couple of weeks back called Reality Ranis of the Jungle. And it's the first time ever a show like this has been produced in India. It's our own format from Warner Brothers called Reality Queens of the Jungle. We took that format and made the format more discovery. We added the survival in there and adventure in there. And we cast 12 women from different walks of life and from different reality shows like Big Boss and Splitsvilla and Shark Tank and other reality shows like that. And we took them and threw them into the jungle, and they had to really put their lives on the line there. And it is as good as any of the other survival adventure shows that we've done globally. And we cast Varun Sood, who's, as you know, is an up-and-coming star, and this is his first series as a host of a reality series as well. So it's out the gate. It's the #1 show on Discovery Plus for 2 weeks now, and it's also trending on our linear channels as well on Discovery. So that's the first one that we're launching and have launched. The second one that we're launching right after that in the festive period is a spin-off of our own franchise called Star vs. Food. And this time we're doing Star vs. Food Survival Season 2. And what we've done is we've taken a lot of celebrities from different walks of life again, from Bollywood, from sports, from reality shows, and we've taken them out into the wild with Ranbir Brar, who, as you know, is the face of MasterChef, and he's like a man's man. He knows how to cook, but he's also an adventurer. He's from an army background. So Ranbir Brar takes all of these celebrities from Kartik Aaryan to Shikhar Dhawan to Munawar Farooqi, who won Big Boss, and Shreya Saran as well, and in different parts of India, and they learn how to cook, they learn how to survive, and they also share some deeper stories about their life with each other, because the wild is a great leveler, right? So when they are in places that are uncommon, without trailers and without crew and things like that, then they reveal deeper things about their own life. So it's a fun adventure, survival, reality, food kind of series that's coming right after Reality Ranis. And the next one that we're doing, actually we commissioned a study on history and mythology, because we know it's a very fertile category. And Divya, you probably know this as well as I do, that there is a lot of interest in India now to know about our own past. And I think while we've consumed history with a Western gaze over the years, it is also now, I think Indians have also wanting to hear stories about their own past in their own voice. And we have a lot of great, credible talent out there, whether it's in in writing, or whether it's in or in hosting, or in research. So we did a bunch of shows, right? Like Secrets is a very important franchise to us. We did Secrets of Sanoli, Secrets of Kohinoor. We did Secrets of Buddha Relics with a very well-known director, Neeraj Pandey, and Manoj Bajpayee. And again, we knew out the gate that you bring credible research married to great cinematic storytelling. It can drive in the audiences, and audiences don't necessarily see it as a documentary. They see it as a cinematic experience, and make history more fun and more cool, and doesn't have to be a boring academic subject. So why I'm mentioning this as an example is, we've been doing Secrets, then we did Legends, then we did History Hunter. So looking at all of these kinds of programs that we've been doing, we're launching another franchise called Mystery Hunter, tentatively called Mystery Hunter. We've cast Ranvijay Singha from Roadies fame, of course. And we've made it more Indiana Jones-like, where Ranvijay goes to different parts of India to uncover ancient mysteries from India's past, whether it may be when dinosaurs walked the planet in India, also at the same time in India, more than 65 million years ago, or about the Vijayanagar Empire, or about ancient lost ships from India. So there are a lot of these stories that we have uncovered, and Ranvijay goes on this journey in a very, like I mentioned, like a very Indiana Jones style, to meet experts, to uncover these mysteries. He does a bunch of adventurous activities to get to the bottom of the mystery, and we hope it's a step in the right direction to make history more fun and cool. After that, we're bringing our biggest hit of about a year and a half back, when we launched Amish into his first series called Legends of Ramayana. And it was a resounding hit. Like out the gate, it was a huge hit for us. You probably may have sampled a little bit of that. If you haven't, shame on you, you should watch it. But jokes aside, we're bringing a second season of Legends. It's been in the works for a while. It's called Legends of Shiva with Amish. And it's a very exciting follow-up to the first season. And I'm more excited for season 2, I must say, than season 1, because that is the topic on which Amish also, became a huge star with the Shiva trilogy of books. So it's inspired by, the Shiva universe, so to speak. And of course, it takes Amish on a journey across the country, again, exploring the different myths and interpretations of what Lord Shiva stands for, and how he's been interpreted in different parts of the country, and cultures, and a lot of stories behind the stories. And with the support of visual effects and all of that, we will bring that to life. And the last thing I would leave you with is crime. And again, crime is a big viewership driver for our OTT, Discovery Plus, and we did a season of a show called My Daughter Joined a Cult, on a very explosive series on Swami Nityananda. And again, we did a lot of marketing around it, and we even had billboards around the country. You might have seen it was very innovative for a documentary. I don't think before that people were promoting and marketing documentaries with that kind of marketing that you generally get only for movies and TV sometimes. So we're following that up with the second season of An Even More Dangerous Cult. The name I won't release right now because of some legal NDAs right now in place, but we will announce it soon. But definitely a second season of Cult is coming. And I think the last thing I'll leave you with is, ever since we merged with Warner Brothers, we've been sitting on a treasure trove of great cinema from 100 years of filmmaking, right? So we thought, why not take some of those great movies and offer it to a movie crazy market like Tamil Nadu, where we have a brand called D Tamil, which is specifically catered to the Tamil Nadu market. And we've taken a lot of these movies, everything from Matrix to a lot of the Rings to, Arnold Schwarzenegger. We have a bunch of these movies from our Warner Brothers catalog, and as well as our DC series, from our DC universe, Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, Arrow. And we're offering it for the first time in the Tamil Nadu market. It has never been exposed there, and we've dubbed that all of that in Tamil, and we've just launched it just a week back in the Tamil Nadu market, and that's a brand new offering for our Tamil brand in the market. So yeah, so that's what's in store. And again, Discovery Plus, we continue to program over 3,000 hours of programming every year, and we're only ramping that up year on year. So yeah, so it's a very robust slate, both on the linear side as well as on the Discovery Plus side. And we hope there's enough for all of our audiences in the coming months. As you know, we're almost 50% of the category itself in terms of viewership, because we have Science, we have Turbo, we have Discovery, Animal Planet, TLC, ID, we have Tamil, and we have Discovery Plus, which is the undisputed kind of home for all things non-fiction, right? We have BBC in there, we have a large deal with BBC in there, we have A&E networks in there, we have epic titles in there, and we have our own global programming in there. So we've had a lot of programming all through the year. And in terms of, I was mentioning to you before this, about 3,000 to 3,500 hours of programming we have put behind all of these brands so far. And on TV alone, to give you a sense, we do about 1,500 hours. We've done about 1,500 hours of programming this year across all of our factual and lifestyle brands. And I'm not including kids and sports and all of the other brands that we have. So just in these categories alone. And again, in terms of revenue, again, because all of our heavy hitting IPs are coming out now from September onwards all the way out to Q1 next year. Festive period is where a lot of advertiser interest comes in, as you know, where a lot of key brands are launched. And from my understanding, is already oversubscribed from in terms of the brands and the sponsors that are already tagged to our originals. So I don't see this diminishing. I think the only thing that we need to keep doing more is create, more impactful, more pull-based IP, so it continues to diversify what factual entertainment stands for, because oftentimes it gets slotted to certain kinds of sponsors or certain kinds of advertisers who generally invest in this. But I think what we've been able to do is marry the best of what we do in factual entertainment, and then also make it more mass by attracting big stars, big celebrities, or making it more reality, more noisy, so it's buzzworthy and headline worthy, so it can also attract a larger advertiser pool as well as an audience pool. So I think we're also fine-tuning that muscle to not alienate the core, but also expand the offering. I think we're doing that more and more as we progress.
Right. And what have been the challenges, in sort of creating content that's both buzzworthy and also there, to generate revenue? I'm sure, the list is like quite massive. And how have you been able to overcome these challenges?
Yeah, it's an excellent question. And I would pay for you to be in my role to solve this. But
give me the job.
You can take the job. But it's a very interesting exercise we're doing, because we're uniquely placed to be able to balance both these worlds. And when we say revenue, it's not just the linear revenue, right? We also have an OTT product, and everything that we do goes on both these platforms, right? So what's happened over time is, ever since we launched an OTT product, there's an additional revenue stream that also comes from OTT, and not just the linear revenue stream that has always been the case till about 4 years back. Having said that, that is also a very robust stream, and that is what we've made our revenues on the back of all these years. Having said that, the kind of programs that you would make for TV, for linear, because that also attracts a lot of sponsor interest and advertiser interest, has to be fine-tuned a little bit to ensure it's TV friendly. By that I mean that, hey, we're doing a big reality show, somebody will want to put in a car in there, or some product in there in a very organic way to give our brands the value that they see, which is organically in nature. So naturally, we would do that. We would lean into that strategy slightly more on the linear side. On OTT, we may not do that when we commission on the OTT side. However, if you make compelling, noise-worthy, buzzworthy noise-making shows, people will come to an OTT. And the same way on TV, if you look at it, if it is driven by spectacle and amazement, and it creates a sense of wonder, and it adds value to people's lives. See, end of the day, why are we making these shows? It's not just a flash in the pan, right? We have to add value to people's lives, whether it is revelatory in nature, whether it informs them of something they didn't know before, or it's not just passing information to them that anyone can do, right? It is also to provide all of this in a very entertaining, revelatory manner. So when you do that on TV, we will attract advertiser interest, we will attract viewership. So it's a fine balance. But to sum this, essentially, a lot of genres work across both the platforms. But there are some genres that work heavily on the OTT side, may not necessarily work on TV. So it is a careful tightrope act that we do when we commission shows, we acquire shows, when we curate them, which is platform specific. And therefore revenue is a byproduct of all of this. So it's product first, and then revenue is the next step in that.
Right. Now, are there any new areas of collaboration? I mean, you talked about reality TV, you talked about adventure, being one of the most important, mythology, history. But are there any other areas of collaboration that you think, which could also include sports, because you did not mention that,
Yes.
which is frankly not even seen on Discovery. We see everything except sports, and maybe other areas that you think can also add to the revenue of the domain.
Yeah, absolutely. And sports, I don't know if you're aware, we have a sports brand called Eurosports, right? So there is a dedicated brand for that. So what happens is that now, for instance, on Star versus Food, just to give you a small example, when we bring a Shikhar Dhawan in Star versus Food Survival, we will also go on obviously on a Eurosport. Having said that, there are a lot of great, I think biopics could be an interesting category in which we should be looking at expanding. There's a lot of work being done on that front. We're seeing a lot of docudramas as an extension, as a natural extension to the way people are consuming factual entertainment. It's no more just pure documentary storytelling. Of course, that's also there in terms of narrative nonfiction. But also, I think docudramas could be a very interesting growth, because what happens is that you immediately attract a lot of the fiction audience who are very used to watching movies and serials and all of that. And the minute they see something like that, but in I would say a high quality, investigative, well-researched kind of way in which it's told, I think people will definitely gravitate towards that. And again, I think history, mythology, these categories are in early stage. We've done a lot of the heavy lift in that category in the nonfiction side. I think that has a lot of room and latitude for growth, those categories. And what else is there? And I think reality and adventure, we're just getting started. We did it with Bear Grylls coming to India with a bunch of celebrities. We did India's Ultimate Warrior, and then we did Star vs. Food Survival, and now with Reality Ranis of the Jungle. And I think we have a few more in the pipeline, which we can announce in the next slate. But definitely that's going to be on the up and up. We have a kids portfolio. We have Cartoon Network, Pogo, and Discovery Kids separately. And of course, and then there is a gap, and then we have Discovery. Okay, right? So why I mentioned these two brands is that the Discovery is almost like a finishing school before they go into, anywhere from 15 to 40-year-olds would be the key kind of viewer who's consuming Discovery very dedicatedly. Our core viewership comes from there. Having said that, anywhere where, a kids channel kind of stops is where I think Discovery kind of takes over in the life journey of these kids entering high school, college, and therefore enter the workforce, and then their parenthood. So we see this as a continuous kind of evolution of where these kids evolve into, and when they enter into the real world after they leave the confines of the family. So we already know a heavy viewership of Discovery comes from kids. We know the kids watch us very heavily, but that doesn't mean we tailor make shows for kids, because we know that it is a kind of a continuous journey. While there is a phase when they're watching cartoons and all of this, and also sampling Discovery, and then they kind of graduate into a kind of more young adult, and then adult thereafter. We so I don't know how young when you said young, but I just wanted to give you a broad view of how that journey is for them. Yeah.
All right. Now I would like to get to the regionalization in content growth. What's the role of regionalization in content growth, and what are the strategies that you have in mind to sort of, also adapt global content for Indian viewers?
Yeah, I mean, I think we are the biggest platform, and I think we were the first to localize all of these global shows in regional languages. And we go out in 7 languages. We're there in English, Hindi, Tamil, Telugu, Bangla, Kannada, and Malayalam. And we launched Kannada and Malayalam for the first time in the country in the 25th year of Discovery in India. And it's been a resounding success, especially in the Karnataka market, where we felt it was starved of this, while their neighbors in Tamil Nadu and Andhra were getting this for many years. I think Kannada and Kerala were starved of this. So definitely regionalization has been one of our strengths, and a lot of our viewership, I must say, comes from the regional market, and it is definitely here to stay. Hindi, Tamil, Kannada, and Telugu, I would say, would be the key viewership-driven markets, because they're very they're very TV friendly, movie friendly, and also they're used to watching global programming very deeply, and also dubbed. So our strategy is localize everything that we bring to the market, all the global shows. And secondly, we also have a local brand called D Tamil, as I was mentioning to you earlier, which is catered specifically to the Tamil market. And again, we've just launched a bunch of Hollywood movies in there and series in there, and we're localizing all of that in Tamil as well. And over the next few years, we'll continue to iterate, because we do see a lot of latitude for growth in the regional markets to expand. So I think we'll definitely let you know as we expand in other markets as well.
All right. And now you also have, newer competitors in the market. So what would the revenue model be for you all for the next 5 to 10 years?
I mean, we have a robust linear ecosystem, right? Which is not changing. It's a very kind of very deeply enmeshed in the TV universe, so that is not changing. And then the second part of that is OTT, and again, we've had a journey over the last 4 years to grow it year on year, and we've seen heavy and very healthy growth year on year on Discovery Plus. We're not only a D2C product, but we're also available on Amazon Prime Video channels. We're also there on Jio, and we're launching on a few more platforms, which you'll hear of shortly. And partnerships is definitely going to be key, a revenue for growth, as well as for our audience. And definitely that's something that I see going forward. Apart from that, there are also allied businesses. We, as Warner Brothers Discovery, we have a theatrical business, we have a licensing business, we have a merchandising consumer products business, and all of these are revenues they're all different business streams into the larger Warner Brothers Discovery what we are out there in the market for. So, but you should definitely speak to our revenue teams to get a deeper dive on just the revenue part of it.
Yes, and you have access to the viewership data. How do you leverage viewership data to sort of also optimize the monetization strategies?
Again, I might not be the best person to answer this question. Having said that, we are, almost 50% of the category of factual entertainment belongs to Discovery. Discovery as in our brands. So naturally, when our revenue teams go out into the market, our sales teams go out into the market, it gives them a huge leverage over anyone else in the market, because not only is it just the market share, it's also backing that market share with the right kind of programming, the variety of genres, the right kind of investments in local production, the right kind of star power that's required to back that right? And that is why viewers keep coming to us month on month, and we go out to 100 million, 120 million viewers just on the TV side in a month, just to give you a sense of the kind of viewers we reach out to. So naturally, this is all huge leverage for our sales teams and revenue teams to go out, because we're doing the heavy lift for the category, and we don't see them as competitors. To be honest, we think everyone is welcome and everyone should invest in this so that the entire category can grow. And we completely welcome what's happening in this, and it is great for the whole category because you get great talent that you can discover both on screen and off screen, and also you can attract more advertisers and more viewers to this category, and it can become more popular, and it doesn't have to be niche anymore.
And my last question, what's the strategic vision like when it comes to new India originals?
And I think I'm going back to what I said at the start, is invest in world-class storytelling and elevate the Indian storytelling to the global market and mainly to the India market, because we have just scratched the surface in terms of what we can do with factual entertainment. Because unlike fiction, where we've started alongside the rest of the world over 100 years back, non-fiction has had a few jumps in growth. It's only now that some of our documentaries from India are going to Cannes and BAFTA and Oscars. It wasn't heard of before. So why I say this is one of our key priorities is to build the ecosystem itself. Invest in great talent behind the scenes, whether it's invest talent behind journalists, writers, researchers, editors, musicians, camera crew. We have great quality talent in India. So definitely talent is one of our key, both on screen as well as off screen. And because the second tenet of everything that we do is on the back of credibility, and we are synonymous with credibility in India, so we cannot waver from that. So this is a very critical investment that we do. The second thing is, of course, all of the genres that we're known for, whether it's adventure, survival, crime, mythology, history, and all of the additional genres that we spoke about, which has room for growth. We're going to be investing behind that. Third, I would say localization. Again, we've had the longest run of localization in the country, and we know exactly how to measure that and fine-tune that. Going forward, we're going to be deeply localized and look for more opportunities to get even deeper into the market. I think that would be the third thing. And last is the partnerships, whether on the OTT side, especially. I gave you a few examples of how Discovery Plus is deeply embedded, and we will continue to embed very deeply with our partners to grow that, whether it's BBC, A&E, Epic. All of these content is there within Discovery Plus. I think that is definitely building our streaming service is definitely going to be one of our key priorities.